Welcome everybody, welcome to 10 Minute Reviews. Jason here bringing you today's video. As always guys, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. Don't forget to check the links down below for links to today's book and anything else that might be applicable. I could use the traffic through the Amazon link, so I definitely appreciate it. The contest is obviously over. It was over almost a month ago. I'm sending out the emails right now to the winners. I do have more signed books, so I will be doing more contests coming up. And thank you very much to our patrons. I'll be sending out those prize winners as well. And otherwise, let's get into today's video. So for today, we're going to talk about Tao Wong, I'm not entirely certain how it's pronounced, and his series, The Thousand Li. We're going to talk about book 9. Now, from my understanding of how he plans on writing this, book 9 is sort of ending the third arc, and 10, 11, and 12 are going to be the fourth and theoretically the final arc. One thing I like about Tao Wong is that just like with the System Apocalypse series that I fell out of love with really quick, he does have endings planned for his books, and he is a fantastic author. Just because I didn't like System Apocalypse does not mean he is not an awesome author. Thousand Li is great, some of his other stuff that I've read is great, and I did read all of the System Apocalypse as well. So he's a great author, so I look forward to seeing what else he comes up with next. But The Thousand Li, it's a lot of fun, and I do like the fact that he ends it. So many of those authors out there, they have their series that is making their money and being successful, and they decide that that's just going to be their forever series, and they just keep writing more and more books, and we never really get a resolution. We never really find out what happens to these characters. They're just kind of in perpetuity plodding along, and I like to see what happens. I like to know what happens. I like to see what happens. I'd like to see them win, fail, or whatever. So this book ends the third arc for our hero, Wu Ying. And in this one, he is still on his travels. He has still been exiled from the Green Verdant sect, and he is on these travels. And he's been traveling around, and he's been gaining quite a name for himself as the Verdant Gatherer, and a lot of allies, a lot of friends, and a few new enemies. He hasn't gone on some planned crusade against demonic cultivators or anything like that, although he has been in conflict with them quite often. And if he is near, he does feel the need to intervene. And in book 8, he came across 2 extraordinarily powerful cultivators and their daughter, and they kind of guided him in an area that he needed to go. And that's what this book is dealing with. This book is kind of dealing with the end of his travels and the growth that he experiences during those travels. And part of that growth is in the personal area, as that said daughter of those powerful cultivators has decided to tag along with Wu Ying through the latter part, or through the next series of his travels, which is another kingdom even further away from where his sect is, and their invasion by demonic cultivators. Basically, this kingdom is in a lot of trouble. They try and hide it, but Wu Ying can see it very quickly, and he can see that there are issues that they are hiding, that they are lying about, that they don't want to come out. And he, through a series of events, manages to ingratiate himself enough into it, or make himself look valuable enough. Fortunately, he has quite the name for himself as the Verdant Gatherer, that he manages to join basically a special forces team that is being sent to deal with this demonic blight that is occurring within this kingdom. It's not the first team to do it. It is the most powerful team to be sent, but it is not the first team to be sent on this. And that's where things get interesting. He's dealing with this corruption and this special forces unit, the special unit. Now he is fortunately joined by a certain former Buddhist monk friend of his that is also at quite a high level of cultivation as well, and has some of his own rather extraordinary powers thanks to a drop of dragon's blood that Wu Ying may have found and given to him, since he had a fire affinity already. And they go on this little, I can't even call it a little mission, it's the bulk of the book. They head on this mission to try and find the source of the corruption. Now, the source of this corruption is pretty powerful. It's strong. It's very strong, and there's a lot of tendrils and a lot of little cultivation throughout that they have to deal with. So first Wu Ying has to, leading up to this point, deal with this tag-along that he really doesn't want. Now, she does eventually grow on him quite a bit. But initially, he really does not want anything to do with her, but he's a relatively peaceful, go with the flow kind of person, so he allows her to tag along. He teaches her, learns a few things from her, shows her a few things, and they end up eventually meshing well as a team, and then obviously as a couple. And add in one of his best friends, if not his full-blown best friend, into this mix, and they have a decent little core despite not really being welcomed by the special unit. They're kind of forced into it, and they're forced into accepting these three for various political reasons or military reasons. They learn to fight within this military unit, including dealing with a very interesting, corrupted, demonic town or village that gets amusing in and of itself. They get into a lot of fights that it really does not feel like they should have survived, although this unit is very powerful. Wu Ying is very powerful. His companions and friends are very powerful. But this corruption itself, and the source of the corruption, it's pretty intense. It's pretty intense. It's pretty crazy. I was not certain who all was going to survive coming out of this. I could see it is going a number of different ways, especially when you throw in at the end a very, very, very key betrayal that pops up and comes very, very close to having a massive effect on how things go. Now, from there, at that point is when, once this book ends, and again, this is book 9, ending the third of Wu Ying's arcs, basically. It ends with him deciding it's time to return home. And that is what's going to lead us into book 10. Guys, if you guys like cultivation books, if you just like a fantastic, awesome read, you got to check out The Thousand Li. It is one of the best. It's my top 5 cultivation series. It's absolutely fantastic. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We will catch you next time. Bye now.